Hello again, my name is Lynn and I'm the Children and Community Minister at Roheath Pavilion Church. Today I'm going to be continuing to make some more garden boxes. So this is part 2 of 4, and if you missed the first one, go ahead and go back and watch the Great Parade. And I'm making these boxes at home, but you can also make them at home, and hopefully this will give you some good ideas on how to do that. So this part 2 is called The Servant King. It was Passover, the time when God's people remembered how God had rescued them from being slaves in Egypt. But this Passover, God was getting ready for an even greater rescue. Jesus and his friends were having the Passover meal together in an upstairs room. But Jesus' friends were arguing. What about? Well, they were arguing about stinky feet. That's right, stinky feet. Now, the thing about feet back then was that people didn't wear shoes. They only wore sandals. And that might not sound that unusual, except that the streets in those days were dirty. And I don't mean just dusty dirty. They were really stinky dirty. With all of those cows and horses and donkeys everywhere, you can just imagine the stuff on the street that would have ended up on their feet. Ugh. So anyway, someone had to wash that dirt away. But it was a dreadful job, and it was only ever done by the lowliest servant. "I'm not the servant," Peter said. "Nor am I," said Matthew. But very quietly, Jesus got up from the table, took off his robe, picked up a basin of water, and knelt down to wash his friend's feet. "You can't," Peter said. He didn't understand about Jesus being the servant king. Jesus said to Peter, "If you don't let me wash away the dirt, you can't be close to me." You see, Jesus knew that what people needed most was to be clean on the inside. All of the dirt on their feet was nothing compared to the sin on their hearts. "Then wash me, Lord, all of me," Peter said, with tears filling his eyes. One by one, Jesus washed everyone's feet. "I'm doing this because I love you," Jesus explained. "Do this for each other." As they were eating the Passover meal together, Jesus picked up some bread. He broke it and gave it to his friends. He picked up a cup of wine and thanked God for it, and then he poured it out and shared it. Jesus told them, "My body is like this bread. It will break. And this cup of wine is like my blood. It will pour out. So whenever you eat and drink, remember that I have rescued you." When they had finished the meal, they sang their favorite song and walked up to their favorite place, an Olive Garden. I hope you enjoyed this Last Supper garden box. I had to get a little creative there using different things for bread and wine because I couldn't think of anything from nature to use. So maybe if you make this box, you can think of something creative to use that's even better than what I used. If you do make this Last Supper box, while you're making it, I want you to think about Jesus the servant. The Bible tells us that Jesus is a really great example for our lives and how we should act. And that means that we should serve other people too, just like Jesus did. Now that doesn't mean that you have to go around washing everyone's feet all the time, but if you're making this box, while you're doing it, have a think about ways that you could serve other people. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you watch parts 3 and 4 to find out what happens in the rest of this Easter story. Thanks, bye.